a reality. Now, ladies and gentlemen, beyond the discussions truly and very unique, we hope that when you leave Accra, you leave not only with stronger networks and fresh perspectives, but also with a deeper appreciation of Africa's place in the future of global financial markets. As president of ACI Ghana and the newly elected president of ACI Africa, this moment means so much to us. What began as a bold aspiration has now become a reality. And seeing this room filled with leaders and delegates from across the world means that it's a reminder that when vision meets collaboration, remarkable things certainly happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the wait is over. The countdown is complete, and the world is now in Accra. Welcome to Ghana, welcome to Accra, and welcome to the 64th ACI World Congress 2026. Thank you for your kind attention.
That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much, President Lawrence. To officially settle us in with remarks and insights stemming decades of experience, wealth of wisdom, and exemplary leadership across several countries, please join me with a warm round of applause as we welcome to the stage ACI Financial Markets Association Chairman, Mr. Roy Daniels.
Thank you, Sibiso. Akwaba, I believe, is how I should start, as I was informed last night by Lawrence. So thank you very much. To all our central bankers that are in attendance, our governors, our distinguished guests, certainly the ACI colleagues and certainly the ACI Management Board, it's an absolute pleasure for me to stand here and be part of the 64th Global World Congress of ACI. As a son of Africa, it's with extreme pride that we invite you all to Ghana and into Accra. Lawrence touched on that it's the second World Congress being hosted in Africa, and the amount of time that it has sort of taken for the second event, we just hope and pray that we don't wait this long for a third one, and I think there'll be a few candidates from our region that will put their hands up for the next World Congress. Let me extend the warmest congratulations to ACI Ghana. I think, Lawrence, you, your team, and your organizing committee have pulled off something absolutely amazing in 11 months. Such a short space of time. Well done. Your vision, your efforts, and your hard work have brought us together as a united continent to this World Congress. I think it's absolutely fantastic, the rallying and the support that you've had from the other countries of ACI in this region to support this World Congress. So congratulations to all those countries as well. I can tell you that in my many years of involvement with ACI, I've never seen such a display of banners and billboards on the drive from the airport to the hotel. It was absolutely amazing to see how much work you put into this Congress. So again, very, very well done. ACI, founded in 1955, has also stood for Wholesale Financial Markets Professionals. The foundations of principles, ethics are rooted in our very being as ACI. We're now presented in 61 countries, representing and reaching 15,000 market professionals around the world. And this work continues via our very many working groups and, of course, the well-respected management board that we have. Our core mission remains unchanged: build knowledge, elevate standards, foster the highest levels of professionalism. Our motto of ACI remains unchanged: my word is my bond, something I think that we covered extensively in our management board meetings over the past few days. ACI itself remains strictly politically neutral, but it would be unwise for us not to recognize the events that are happening in the globe at the moment and the geopolitical instability that takes place. I share a special thought and a special prayer for our many ACI colleagues around the world that are impacted through these tragic events that are taking place. So a special thought for them, and we wish them all the very best to them, their families, and their friends. During these challenging times, ACI continues to grow and expand. At this stage, myself and the management board are busy working with 8 countries to establish themselves as affiliated associations of ACI, and I can proudly tell you that of that 8, 7 come out of the Africa region. This shows exactly how this continent of ours is developing, growing. It displays the hunger that this continent has for knowledge, for education, and to gain experience into the markets, to carry these experiences into the rest of the world. Africa has its own voice, and it's reaching the stage and the time now where we will be heard in the global environment. Our markets at this stage go through these volatile times, and I can honestly say that in my times of managing trading teams, that the same trader that complained to you today that he couldn't make any revenue because the markets were stagnant was the same trader that in a month's time would say to you, you can't make any money because the markets are too volatile. Volatility is what we need in our markets. Volatility, I've always believed, gives us opportunity in these markets. We go through the highs and lows of the markets, we go through the emotions of the markets, but we come out the next day and we stand up again and we carry on with what we are employed to do. This week, colleagues, the platform is being set for you to go and join, to meet people, make new friends, meet new professionals within your field. Spend the time, take the energy, and go and share your time with the exhibitors and, of course, with our valuable sponsors of these events. We've got to thank all those exhibitors and all those sponsors that make these events possible. We spent last night at our Kwaba evening, and it was quite enlightening to see so many people walking around, greeting each other again, haven't seen each other for 11 months, hugging each other, and reconnecting physically, because we spend these days where everything is digital, everything's via some sort of app, but now we get the chance to actually spend time and greet people face to face. So thank you again for being here and attending this World Congress, and I wish you good times, fun times, and finally to ACI Ghana, I wish you continued success with the World Congress. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you very much, Roy. Let's hear it for him once again. Let's hear it once again for Roy. Put your hands together. Thank you, Roy. He finds a way of doing the job of an MC as well by acknowledging some of our sponsors. I'm grateful for that. Maybe you join us as a co-MC during some of the sessions as we go along. So having set the tone, we want to use this opportunity to acknowledge some of our sponsors, our gold sponsors. We have Fidelity Bank. Please let's hear it for Fidelity Bank. GCB Bank PLC, thank you very much for your sponsorship. Plurido, thank you so much, Plurido. Another of our gold sponsors, Mashreq, thank you very much, Mashreq, for your support. And our final gold sponsor for this event is Stanbic Bank Ghana Limited. Please let's hear it for Stanbic Bank. Thank you so much. We have so many other sponsors and we'll acknowledge them as the program goes on. For a program as important as this, one that brings the whole world together. It's so important that you have solid support. We have been blessed to have that great partnership from the title host of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's hear it for the Bank of Ghana, Ghana's central bank. So amazing the support they've given us to make sure that we can have this as a very successful event. Having mentioned them, definitely one person comes to mind. The one who has led our monetary policy and one who has been very supportive of our financial markets. To deliver the keynote address for this great Congress, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me joy to welcome yours, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Please put your hands together for Dr. Johnson Pandit Isiama. Let's rise as we receive him.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good to see you too, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
I know, sir. Thank you.
Please have a seat. Good morning, everyone. You know, I like my good morning to be very warm, so I prefer a strong response from you. Good morning. It tells me the day will go well. So let me first thank the cultural troupe for that very, very, very interesting display. I hope you enjoyed my Agbaza moves. I come from the Volta region, true. I come from the southern part of the Volta region. And there, the one we do is called Bobobo. So maybe next time they should try some Bobobo and you'll see my skills. But on a more serious note, President and executives of the ACI Financial Markets Association, governors and deputy governors of central banks, we have a number of distinguished visitors here. I'm told that the participation from outside is very strong. We have a good number of people visiting us. Leaders of financial institutions are here with us, captains of industry, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. So financial markets are being reshaped in real time indeed. They are becoming more digital, they are becoming more connected, and more shaped by emerging economies than they have ever been. And that is the moment in which this Congress is meeting. And this is the reason that Ghana, my country, is honored to host all of you. And again, on behalf of His Excellency the President, you are all welcome to our beautiful city of Accra. And on behalf of the Bank of Ghana and the people of Ghana, I welcome you all to Accra and to our colleagues at the ACI Financial Markets Association. Indeed, 64 years of stewardship of professional standards and market integrity. We thank you. We thank you for the trust placed in Ghana to host this gathering this week. Your presence here is itself a signal that the conversation about the future of global financial markets, it now requires Accra to also be at the table, and we are grateful. So let me begin with a proposition that frames everything else that I will say here this morning. And that proposition is that macroeconomic stability, it is not only good for financial market development, but indeed it is the infrastructure on which financial market development becomes possible. Without it, capital markets stay shallow. Credit stays expensive. And innovation stays trapped on the margins of the formal system. With it, every other ambition we have for our financial system becomes available to us. So 3 years ago, Ghana did not have that infrastructure. Headline inflation at the time went as high as 54.1% in December 2022. Our international reserves were thin. Debt was being restructured at the time. Market confidence was being rebuilt from a low base. The decisions that were taken at the Bank of Ghana and at the Ministry of Finance over the period that followed were not comfortable decisions, but they were the correct ones. The result so far, by April this year, inflation had fallen to 3.4%. Our international reserves are well towards $14 billion US, more than 5 months of imports cover and approaching the 6 months of imports cover. 1,400 basis points have been shaved off the policy rate since early 2025. Fiscal consolidation is holding. You have a banking system that has been recapitalized, and once again, lending to the private sector is recovering. So, colleagues, I share these numbers not in a spirit of celebration. I do realize I have to be careful because global conditions remain uncertain, and the risks in the outlook are always out there. Geopolitical tensions are real for us policymakers, and they are live, and we are watching their transmission into our economy carefully. But I share these to you because they make a point that goes beyond Ghana. Stability is not the achievement at which a financial system arrives. It is the foundation from which everything else becomes possible to build. That is the lesson of the last 3 years here in Ghana. It is also, I would argue, the precondition for the kind of financial market architecture that the rest of this Congress will be discussing. Distinguished delegates, what makes this moment different is not what any single country has done or is doing. It is what is happening across emerging economies simultaneously and at the same time. The conventional story of financial markets in emerging economies has been one of catch-up, adapting frameworks designed elsewhere, importing infrastructure built for other systems, accepting standards set in other rooms. That story is ending. And it is ending because the tools that are now reshaping global finance are no longer being built only in New York, in London, or in Frankfurt. You have instant payments. You have digital sovereign currencies. You have virtual asset frameworks. You have AI-driven market intelligence. You have regional integration architectures. These are being built, and in some cases, built first in places just like Accra, in places just as Nairobi, in places just as Sao Paulo, and in places just as Mumbai. And this is the shift that this Congress is meeting to recognize here in Accra. And what we are seeing in Ghana reflects that broader shift along 3 architectural lines. Permit me to just outline them briefly. First is that payments are no longer the back office of finance. Payments are no longer the back office of finance. Payments are now the front door to finance. Colleagues, for decades, payments were treated as the last mile of finance. The plumbing that moved money once decisions had been made elsewhere. But that logic is being inverted. That logic is being inverted across the emerging world. Payment rails are becoming the entry point into formal finance for billions of users. The data layer on which credit decisions are increasingly made, and the operational platform on which monetary policy itself is transmitted. Colleagues, what we are seeing in Ghana is one expression of these. You have an interoperable ecosystem that is built with GIFs and our partners, with instant transfers, mobile money integration at scale, QR code interoperability, and a settlement infrastructure that has become a regional reference point. The ECD, Ghana Central Bank Digital Currency, has completed its pilot phase, and we are now actively designing its use for cross-border settlement and wholesale payments. The strategic question is therefore no longer whether to build digital sovereign infrastructure. The strategic question now, here and elsewhere, is what economic activity we choose to enable once we have it. The second one, in digital finance, regulation is not a constraint on scale. It is the condition for scale. Colleagues, the post-2008 instinct was to treat regulation as a brake on innovation. The lesson of the last decade in digital finance is that the opposite is true. The opposite is true indeed. Markets that lack credible regulatory architecture, those markets do not innovate faster. They fragment, they fail, and they erode the trust on which the next wave of innovation depends. Ghana's Virtual Asset Service Providers Act was passed in 2025, and we are now operationalizing it through the detailed regulatory framework that gives the Act its market-facing form. The same principle runs through our fintech sandbox, through our supervisory technology investments, through the cybersecurity frameworks that we are strengthening, and through our work with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Ghana Stock Exchange to align oversight where capital markets, banking, and digital finance increasingly converge. Colleagues, innovation without regulatory architecture is fragile. Innovation that is embedded within credible regulatory architecture compounds. And that is the proposition emerging economies are testing now. Then the third is that markets that are not connected will not compete. Markets that are not connected will not compete. Capital does not respect borders, but regulation often does. Capital does not respect borders, but regulation does. The countries that recognize this are building integration into the design of their financial systems rather than retrofitting it after the fact. We are working with our partners across the region on licensed passporting initiatives for fintechs, on harmonized payment rails, and on the broader vision of a connected African financial market. A fintech licensed in one African jurisdiction should be able to serve a customer in another without rebuilding its compliance stack from scratch. A payment that is initiated in Accra should clear in Abidjan or in Lagos just as easily as it clears in Kumasi here in Ghana. This is not regional aspiration. It is the design logic of competitive emerging markets in the decade that is ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme that this Congress has set, Ghana at the center of a new financial markets era, is a generous framing. And I want to be precise about what I think it means. It does not mean Ghana claims to have solved problems that the global financial system has not solved. It does not mean we believe our experience is universal. And it does not mean we are blind, that we are blind to the risks that lie ahead, to commodity volatility, to geopolitical disruption, to the fragility of confidence in any market system. What it means is this: a growing number of emerging economies, Ghana among them, are no longer countries to which financial market policy just happens. We are countries in which financial market policy is being designed for our own conditions, in dialogue with others facing similar conditions, and increasingly as the source of frameworks that other jurisdictions are watching, adapting, and in some cases adopting. That is a different posture from the one that defined the last era. It carries different obligations. It requires us to engage more, not less, with forums such as this one to test our thinking against the experience of others, to learn from where we are wrong, and to contribute where we have something useful to offer. And that is the obligation that Ghana accepts. In closing, colleagues, financial markets are not being redesigned in theory. They are being redesigned in real time. And they are being redesigned across jurisdictions, across technologies, and increasingly from inside the economies that until recently were assumed to be on the receiving end of that design. Ghana has chosen to be part of that redesign, not as a participant, but as a contributor. The question for everyone in this room this morning is the same question. Are we building financial systems that will keep up with the change ahead? Are we building financial systems that will keep up with the change ahead? Or are we building systems that will shape it? That is the conversation that this Congress is convened to have. And it is the conversation that Ghana is ready to be at the center of. Colleagues, I welcome you to Accra. I wish you fruitful deliberations. Please enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much.
The Bank of Ghana. Thank you so much, sir. So we'll take a short musical break. While we are doing that, all the panelists for panel 1, panel discussing the building global markets to respond to change, kindly move backstage to be mic'd up. Thank you. All right, so in the spirit of acknowledging our sponsors, I would want to acknowledge our silver sponsors as well. We have, as one of our partners for the program, the LSEG. LSEG, please let's hear it for LSEG. They are technology providers for the financial market. We also have with us Bloomberg. Bloomberg is here, and they are at the exhibition area. For our bronze sponsors, we have with us SG, Société Générale Bank. Please let's hear it for SG. We have SGX as well, Continental Capital Markets, CWG Syria, 360T, GTCO, and Loros Africa. Let's hear it for our silver and bronze sponsors. I mentioned this has been a work of many partners, and we have quite a number of them. Our partners include the Ghana International Bank, GHIB. We have Frontclear, UAE Financial Markets Association, ABSA, NIB, ACI UK, Integral, Credstone, the Ghana Stock Exchange, the Ghana Tourism Development Company, Templars, FinCap, CBG, 6 Degrees, who are running the operations of this event, the NBC, the National Banking College, Sapon Capital, Savvy Securities, and Prudential Bank. Let's hear it for our partners as well. So I see all of you well suited up for today, and that's so beautiful to see. It's going to get even more colorful tomorrow, because tomorrow we have the dress code being our traditional wear. That is why we've made it a point to provide the African market, which is just outside the exit around the area where you registered. So for those who didn't get a traditional outfit while flying into Ghana, don't worry. We have some aunties and uncles out there who've got you covered. Go out there, get your fugu, get your kente, get your nice African prints, and we'll see you tomorrow here looking so colorful. Please put your hands together if you're excited about that and you are looking forward to that as well. Also, by way of information, on the lobby, the main lobby floor, we have the main exhibition area where some of our sponsors and partners have exhibited. Right after the first panel, we'll be going out for a coffee break, which will be held over there. Please do all to pass by, see what they have, strike some partnerships, let's get some business done. And that is something we are looking forward to. We'll take a musical break and we'll join you for the press panel. Thank you so much.
The ACI World Congress this year. We are happy to welcome you to Africa and happy to welcome you to
As ACI Zambia, we are excited to be part of this monumental occasion to expose Africa to the globe.
ACI Zambia, Chalo, Ghana, we see.
It's time for Africa. Yeah, it's not a secret. Ghana is hosting. Yes. Ghana Chalo, Zambia got you. Zambia Chalo, Ghana Chalo, Africa Chalo.
The ACI World Congress is happening right here in the heart of Ghana, Accra, on the 21st and 22nd of May 2026 at Kempinski Hotel. Join us as we explore new horizons, foster global partnerships, and drive the future of the global financial markets. Save the date, save your seat. Final registrations are ongoing on the website www.cra2026.com. See you there.
Obake. Ghana to the world. ACI. Accra to the world right now. Future bright.
So ladies and gentlemen, we are using this opportunity to take the coffee break. There's coffee to the left, there's coffee on the base floor as well, the main lobby floor. Pass by our exhibition centers, experience the area, interact with them, and then we'll come back to continue with the program. While we are at that, Mr. Indapit Singh, please, we need you to join us for the first panel.